Welcome back, y'all.
All the basic babes are tuning in. I recently lost 130 pounds and noticed how people switched up on me. Can y'all relate?
Yes. I'm just beautiful, sexy and bloated.
As someone who has high cortisol, PCOS, insulin resistance, the list goes
You name
on.
it.
I hit the genetic lottery.
If he didn't want you, then he doesn't deserve you now.
I've been there too, and it does get better.
I'm gonna go cry.
The following podcast is a Dear Media production.
Pretty basic. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Pretty Basic. I am Remi Cruz.
And I am Alisha Marie. We are in the studio today, and I miss you guys. I feel like it, honestly, I just love coming in to the studio. I love Pretty Basic days. I get so excited when our episodes go up. Like today, an episode went up this morning, and I always get excited when I realize it's Wednesday and it was uploaded, and then I read the comments and so welcome back, y'all.
All the basic babes are tuning in.
They are tuned in.
Yes. Today, honestly, I'm really excited about this episode because I feel like I used to do this on my vlogs a lot, and I feel like I haven't done it in a long time. I've been wanting to do it for a while. I've been getting a lot of questions, and I feel like it's such a perfect topic to bring to Pretty Basic because I feel like it's a good check-in with both of us. I feel like we've done quite a few episodes about this specific topic that we do, once or twice a season, but it's always fun to check in. It's fun to listen to past episodes where we've talked about things of this nature because it is an ever ongoing situation, topic that is so prevalent in our lives that will always kind of be prevalent in our lives. And I think that we should start out with a trigger warning before though we get into everything because we are going to be talking about like body dysmorphia. I'm sure we'll get into like eating disorder things. And so just wanted to give a little trigger warning beforehand that if any of those things trigger you, then this is probably not the episode to listen to.
Yeah. And I'm excited to talk about all of this too, because I feel like we used to do a lot of themed episodes kind of like this on just like different subjects, and it's been a while. So one, if you guys like it, let us know. Two, I would love for the comment section just to be uplifting to everyone, and feel free to comment anything and like your own story or your own advice or anything like that, because it is ever changing. And I'm sure when you mentioned it on your vlogs years ago, or if we years ago when we talked about it on the podcast, like our opinions or our advice has even changed and grown too. So, I feel like this is an ever ongoing struggle. It does get easier as you get older, but like I still struggle with my body image. Like I still struggle with my relationship to my body. I feel like every day is kind of different. Like there's days where I feel hot as fuck. There's days where I'm like, I could wear anything and I just feel like a sexy little thing. And then there's other days where I'm like right now, I definitely wanted like baggier clothes today because I was just like, I'm just like not feeling the hottest. I like fluctuate with my weight all the time. All the time. I hold on to water weight like no other. And right now I'm feeling hella bloated. Am I still beautiful and sexy as fuck? Yes. I'm just beautiful, sexy as fuck and bloated.
Yeah, just add another one on there.
Just add another one. But yeah, it's taken a long time to I know where we both are with our relationships with our bodies. So excited for us to talk about it. But we also did put it on our Instagram story for Pretty Basic on our Instagram, Pretty Basic Official. Go follow it for you guys to ask specific questions, because sometimes I feel like it's easy for us to think we kind of talk about the same thing. And I'd love to like actually address specific things that you guys have, or things maybe I wouldn't have thought to ask you, or you wouldn't have thought to ask me. So love when you guys get involved. Go follow the Instagram.
Also, I do think it's fun though that they could ask the same question, or we could be answering the same question that we did last year and have a completely different answer. Even like 6 months ago. I do remember reading something online once and I had felt so seen, and it just, I know if you've ever struggled with your relationship with food, your relationship with your body, with an eating disorder, which Alisha and I have talked about our own personal experiences before, how we both have kind of gone through eating disorders at some point, which, have been quite a struggle on their own. And we're in a really good place sitting here right now. But I remember seeing online someone saying like, once you have one, you kind of always have some sort of, I don't want to say eating disorder because it's not like it changes obviously, but you just have a harder time with food usually for like the rest of your life. Like we know a lot of people who have never struggled with food in any way. And it's so interesting seeing their relationship with food. And like, that's something that I'll never have. And that's amazing for them. And I'm actively every day working on my relationship with food and my relationship with my body and all these sorts of things. But if you get it, you get it.
Yeah. And it is different for everyone. It's like, it's so, for me personally, I feel like even after I've learned more about like, having ADHD and stuff, like I've learned how a lot of people with ADHD can tend to overeat because they're seeking stimulation. So like even learning about that, like I think that's what my biggest piece of advice is, like really grow to learn your body. And like, I can't change that about myself. Like I'm constantly seeking different stimulation like that. But so like, don't be hard on myself because that's just like how I am. I can definitely like work with that. But it's pointless for me to sit here and like look at my friend who never struggles with it and be like, why can't I be like you? I just want to be like you, or like try to emulate their eating patterns or whatever. Like that's just never going to work because I've tried that before. And like being just so gentle on yourself and you're like, okay, like this is one of my struggles. Someone else has other struggles, you know? And like, yeah, I think the way that some people even struggle with addictions, like just because they go sober or something, it doesn't mean they still don't have the struggle of alcohol. It's like a daily battle of choosing not to like do that. So I think eating disorders can be very similar because it's like, it's a disease. It's like your brain is tricking you. It's not like, I don't know. I think it has this horrible stigma, and I think it just sucks for people to think that it's all just about like, oh, it's so vain, you just want to like look a certain way. And I'm like, I feel like that's not even 90% of eating disorders. Like a lot of it's like feeling out of control. Like there's just so much to it. Obviously we're not doctors and obviously we gave a trigger warning, but I think what's helped me personally is hearing other people talk about it and it not being like such a stigma. Also, the exciting part, and I know you can talk on this too, like I feel like I've truly accepted my body. Like, yes, there's little things I would love to change here and there. Like, no, I've never gotten any crazy surgery. Would I ever get some? Maybe, but I love that I'm in a place where it's less about my identity and it's not me feeling less than because I don't look a certain way or have a certain body type. I truly feel like I love myself and my body. And yes, if you want to get Botox, if you want to get some filler, like do that. That's your body.
No, I totally agree. I know I've talked about it on recent episodes. And then I remember seeing a girl actually made a TikTok talking about how I talked about it on the pod. And it's so funny because I feel like we sit here and just like, you and I have these conversations all the time. So to me, it just feels like another time we're having the conversation, but you forget it's going out to the masses. People are listening. People are taking things in. And so I saw this girl made a TikTok about it and I didn't realize like how much it could resonate with somebody else, where I had talked about how I finally, in the past like couple years, honestly, in the past year, if you guys did not know, I've been on GLP-1 / also Tirzepatide for the past like a little bit over a year, like a year and 3 months now. And I'm sure there'll be questions about that. So we'll get more into it, but I've been on medication to help with my PCOS and all my symptoms and things. And I lost a significant amount of weight since starting the medication. I can even get into this more later on too, but I do think at first when I was on the medication, as we all know, so many people were on Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, all these GLP-1s, maybe for not the right reasons. Maybe it wasn't prescribed by an actual doctor. Like mine was prescribed through a real doctor, through a gynecologist, through a PCOS specialist for my insulin resistance and PCOS. But to be honest, when I got on it, I was comparing myself a lot to all these other people who are on it who might actually not necessarily need it, who weren't actually prescribed it, or even if they were prescribed it. I was like for real actual issues, whether it is like weight loss or because some of them are actually approved now for specifically weight loss, or for PCOS or whatever it is. I wasn't losing weight super fast. I haven't lost weight super fast.
Yeah, I feel like it has been very gradual.
Yeah, not that, and like I wasn't expecting to get on and lose it all because I was even apprehensive to start it because I was nervous and just all these sorts of things. I've tried so much medication throughout my life for PCOS specifically, and I wasn't like sitting at home upset. But there are definitely times where I was like, oh, like, wow, they're losing weight really fast. I wonder why I'm not. Like, I wonder if there's something wrong. But I do think it's because the medicine's like, I'm not abusing it for any other reason than like I'm actually using it for my symptoms. But I just came to terms with the fact that like my blood panels, I just went through them with my doctor the other day, are so much better in every regard than when I started. Like before, there were so many things that were off the charts, from my cholesterol to my testosterone levels to like my progesterone levels. Like so many things were off. Estrogen really low. Now that I've been on medication, I've been taking care of myself, I've been eating better, I've been working out more, I've developed a much healthier lifestyle, but more importantly, a balanced lifestyle. I've lost a very large amount of weight, but I've plateaued many a times during my journey. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's something wrong. No, there's nothing wrong. I've literally even checked with my doctor, like, is this normal? And they're like, it's so normal. Also, she'll look at me and she's like, what I love is that you're strong. Like, you can tell that you are strong because I'm actively working out. I'm actively taking care of myself. I'm not just losing weight because I'm not eating on this medication. Like, I've actually like understood how to live a healthier lifestyle. All to say, sorry, this was so long-winded. I have realized even after losing a very large amount of weight, I still maintain a curvier body physique, like a shape, because that is just the body that I have been blessed with. I've lost so much weight and I still need extra wide, not even wide calf, extra wide calf boots because I just have wide calves. I will always have wide calves no matter what. And like, that's okay.
And I think for both of us, especially in our early 20s, like we thought we could change our actual body
Physique,
type.
yes.
Our physique. Like,
Yeah.
I'm talking like change it. When we had the wrong goals in mind of just like, quote, being skinny or like, quote, being smaller or like maybe you even getting taller or like smaller calf or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
I just feel like it's so much different now because I feel like a lot of our goals are like health focused of like our own health, our own blood panels, our own like, you know, making sure your periods are regular, like all these different things. And it's really cool actually because I feel like we're coming from very different approaches. Like obviously you went from having like no period, struggling with and like needing a medication where like I'm the complete opposite of that. So I feel like regardless of where you are in your journey, like hopefully you can relate to either of us. But I feel like now focusing on like, I just want to feel good. And then when weight loss comes secondary to that, like that's when you were talking, that's all I heard you say was like, you were focused on making your body the healthiest it can be. And the weight loss was like a second part of that. And obviously like that was great. But when we've gone in the past focusing on just those things, like it never ends well. And just focusing on feeling good and like treating your body like as best as you can.
For sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I just want to be like, it gets so much better.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get into the questions and stuff because I'm very happy where we both are. And, yeah, if I could go back to my 20-year-old self, this is for her, this episode.
We can only go up from here. And we've already made so many strides from when I remember when we started this podcast, like I think back who I was and what I thought I knew at that time, even doing an episode like this. And I was so wrong about everything, like everything.
You were wrong though, because you didn't even know your diagnosis.
No. And like, I don't blame her at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm happy for where I've gotten now. I am so happy to share all of the knowledge that I've learned about PCOS specifically. I remember more recently, I got a bunch of messages from people saying that Brittany Broski had just gotten, which I would love to have her on and talk about it because I feel like that'd be such a good episode, but she had just recently gotten diagnosed. And I had quite a few with PCOS and I had a lot of people being like, Remi, oh my God. Like, I feel like I've become the poster child of PCOS on YouTube, which I love. I don't know a lot about it still, but I will like champion to share things. And so I immediately texted her and I was like, been going through this for 7 years now. Let me just give you this information I have.
Yeah.
Oh, well, since I've known. I've been going through it my whole life, but just I've known about it now and I've been trying to find a solution for 7 years now. Here's what I learned in the last 6 months. It has changed my life. If I could just give that to you now and you don't have to go through any of that, I'm so happy I went through that for somebody else. I really am.
Like even one person.
For sure. So happy to share, but let's get into the questions.
Ooh. Okay, wait, I actually think this is a great first question. I won't say the name, but it says, how do you keep a positive mindset with working out for your mental/physical well-being versus viewing it as a punishment? I feel like that's how my first round of me into the health and fitness world, I would force myself to work out almost as like a punishment of like, oh, I ate all of this. Well, now I better freaking work out. Otherwise, like as a punishment, or I would make myself like, even while I was running, I would like say nasty thoughts to myself to be like, I just be like, you fucking piece of shit. Like you're ugly as fuck. Or like you, like whatever, like treating myself mentally bad. Cause I thought that gave me good motivation.
Yeah.
Which maybe it did for the 30 minutes I was running, but then like
makes you feel bad after.
Yeah. And when words are so powerful so like negative self-talk and alone is like so hard on yourself. So it only made it worse in the end because it made me more insecure of those things anyway. You know what I mean? And like, so if I was like walking on the treadmill, I'd be like, ew, like your legs are like jiggling. Like you better keep working out so they don't, which hello, it's skin. It's going to do that. Okay. First of all, unfortunately, it took me way too long to realize that. And And then again, secondly, that only instilled my insecurity. That didn't fix anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even if you think that's like good motivation, it's not. Like in the long term, it's not. And it's only going to make things so much more worse. So I think like don't even view any workout as a punishment. Like view it as empowering yourself. Like our bodies are so crazy what they can do. Like our bodies can literally like heal themselves. Our bodies can like go so much further than what you think is possible. And like they're so strong. They take care of us. Like your body's on your side. You know what I mean? Like you are working together. Like don't fight yourself. Like, and I think just like, it's not a punishment. You're like doing your body a service by getting a walk in, or like, you know, it doesn't have to be a crazy like 90-minute HIIT workout, but even just like a walk or going outside and just being outside. There's so many days where I'm like, Alisha, you didn't even leave the house. Like get outside, breathe fresh air, like take care of your body. And then I think once you start being more grateful for your body, you stop seeing it so much as like a punishment.
Totally agree with everything you said. I also think something that we need to keep in mind is that everything is genetic. Like you are predisposed to things because of your genetics. So like cellulite, a lot of it is genetic. So if you like, if your parents have it, you might have it as well.
My mom has it. She's always had it. It's what I have.
Cellulite, height, calf size, it's all genetic.
Butt
so
size.
be a lot more gentle on yourself. There are so many things that are out of your control. And once you understand that, you will have a much easier time accepting yourself. Truly. That was a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
Huge thing. Second of all, mindset with working out. I think I agree. At one point in my life, I definitely viewed it as a punishment. I also talked about this in the last episode, but I do view a lot of things. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I'll ever be a girl who enjoys working out. I really, really don't. I would rather rot on the couch all day. Like just being so honest, I'd rather be like playing on my phone or computer, like doing literally anything else than like working out. That's just me. Some people wake up and like love to work out, and that is amazing for them. My one advice I can give to people who don't enjoy it and feel like they like to some degree we have to, like whether it is taking a walk, it's just moving your body. We need to do that. You can't be sedentary your whole life. So I think start small, go for a walk. Doesn't need to be miles long, could be a walk around the block. Like start small and then work your way up, / also finding workouts that you actually enjoy and also workouts that are going to help your body. For instance, as someone who has high cortisol, PCOS, insulin resistance, the list goes on.
You name it.
I got it.
She's the chosen one.
I hit the genetic lottery. And so for so long, I always heard people say, you know, high intensity workouts are not good if you have high cortisol. It's actually like not going to help you. Yeah, it's just stressing your body out more and more. You're not going to lose weight. You're not going to feel good. You're going to be tired. I remember being like, that's mumbo jumbo. I was doing 7 spin classes a week. And while it was good cardio and like I did enjoy it, which is good, obviously, like moving your body is good. It actually was stressing my body out so much.
Well, and our bodies, again, going back to how like smart they are, it adapts. Like your body then learned, I'm probably going to go through 7 spin classes this week, so I better conserve even more energy, which is going against your goal. Like it's like really working with your body.
Yeah. And so now knowing that, I've started doing Pilates, and I started only going like maybe once or twice a week. Now I'll go like 5-7 times a week just because I actually do enjoy it now. I'm still not like waking up excited to go at 7 a.m. Like, let me be honest. I don't know if I ever will be there, but I enjoy it more than I used to. And I enjoy it more than if I went to a spin class or if I went to like a class that I don't enjoy as much.
Yeah.
Or a run. Hate running. I'll never like running. So I'm like, I found something that I like more than that. But my body's working with it. I've always heard that low intensity steady state workouts are better for someone like me. So like a yoga, a Pilates, rowing, something like that.
Just
so like
walking,
cardio, walking. So I think really figure out like what works best for your body. And then within that, what do you enjoy the most? Swimming. What else can you do? Tennis, pickleball,
anything,
golfing, literally anything that you enjoy, because it'll make it just a more enjoyable experience.
No, I fully agree with all that. I had so many thoughts, but I feel like we'll also get into it with the next question. Okay, I've been wanting to talk to you about something I recently added to my routine, and it is a game changer, Smart Mouth mouthwash. I'm always running around the city and in meetings, so having fresh breath all day is key for me. Smart Mouth is different from any other mouthwash that I've used because it keeps your breath fresh for 24 hours with just 2 rinses a day. Like no midday breath check necessary. But the coolest part is it's got this dual chamber bottle that keeps 2 solutions separate until you're ready to use it. You pour them out, they mix and activate this zinc technology that stops bad breath in its tracks. The science is so wild, but all I care about is that it works. Honestly, I'm still scarred by this, and I shouldn't be because it's so normal. But years ago, I remember someone telling me I had bad breath, and it scarred me. And I have made sure ever since that I will never have someone tell me that again. But instead of having to use gum and mints all day, this actually works. And what's really great is that Smart Mouth was actually developed by a dentist, so you know it's the real deal, and it keeps your breath fresh 12 times longer than any other brands. Plus, my favorite is they have these cute little mouthwash single packs, so I can just throw it in my purse when I'm on the move, on the go, or if you stay the night at a friend's house or whatever. It's just so easy and convenient. So if you want to stay fresh all day like me, you can find Smart Mouth at CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart. Or head to www.smartmouth.com/prettybasic to get a special discount on your next purchase. That's www.smartmouth.com/prettybasic. Your mouth will definitely thank you.
You guys know that I'm always on the lookout for products that just work, right? Well, I have to tell you, the Skims Ultimate Bra Collection has completely blown me away. I've been living in their Ultimate Teardrop Push-Up Bra lately, and I'm telling you, it's a total game changer. The second that I put it on, I felt this perfect mix of comfort and confidence. It's one of those bras that makes you feel supported without that heavy, uncomfortable feeling that we all know too well. I am not normally a fan of bras, and I love to just be free and not feel constricted, but these are amazing bras, and you feel so comfortable, and you literally almost forget that you're even wearing it, which is so major for me and anybody else, you know, if you've worn a bra before. Whether I'm running around doing meetings, filming all day, or just chilling at home, this bra gives me exactly what I need. It's soft, breathable, and the fabric feels so light and smooth on my skin. I love that I can literally wear it for hours without feeling like I need to adjust it or rush to take it off. But what I really love is how versatile it is. You can throw it on with anything from a hoodie and leggings when I'm running errands to something more dressed up when I'm going out with friends. The lift is so natural, and it gives me that extra boost of confidence no matter what I'm wearing. Honestly, it's been a go-to piece for me because I know I can rely on it, whether it's an all-day thing or just a quick outing. It looks great and feels amazing. And here's the best part. Skims has thought of everyone with their sizing. They've got 62 sizes from 30A all the way to 46H, which is incredible. It's a great feeling knowing that there's a size that's tailored to you no matter your body type. So if you're ready to say goodbye to uncomfortable bras for good, you have to check out Skims. Go to skims.com and shop their Ultimate Bra Collection. Trust me, it'll change your life. And don't forget, after you place your order, let them know that we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and choose Pretty Basic from the drop-down menu. I'm telling you, your girls are going to thank you for this one.
What are tips to get more water throughout the day besides watching a Remi vlog, of course? 5 big sips, everybody. Honestly, getting a big water bottle is very, very helpful. I have this one. This is a 40-ounce water bottle. I drink 4 of these a day. So I love water, though. I really do. I love chugging water. But someone like Cal, who struggles to get water, he got himself a gallon water bottle, and he just lugs that thing with him everywhere. And he just knows, okay, I'm going to try my best to finish 1 of these a day. So I think finding like, whatever you want. Obviously, these little water bottles are so in right now. Your Stanley, your Brewmate, your whatever it is. It's a really good way to obviously get your water in. But I do think like versus just filling up cups. Like I have so many friends that just fill up cups through the day. And I'm like, you can't keep track. It's not cold. I love my water ice cold. I can chug this all day long.
My biggest thing is like if I don't have my water bottle with me, as if it's my phone, I'll forget. Like today, I forgot to bring my thermos or my water bottle. So like I'm way behind on my water. But the days that I wake up and take it right off my shelf and carry it around with me everywhere, I drink so much more water.
Also, like I have so many friends. My mom is the same way. She hates the taste of water.
That's so crazy to me.
I crave water all the time. But if you're like my mom, or like there's so many people in my life that don't like water, a lot of them do like a little like water flavor situation or like an electrolyte situation to get more water in without having to drink as much, or like a flavoring something, like just to make it easier for them to drink. At the end of the day, it's such an important thing to get water in for your overall health, to literally hydrate yourself for all the things. So whatever you need to do to get more water in, there's something for everybody. And sparkling water is just as hydrating as regular water, believe it or not. I was shocked to hear that. So if you're a sparkling girl, chug a lug.
Which is crazy to me because I never thought it was, but I did see a TikTok that said it was. So is it?
I heard from a doctor, so I'm like, I think it's legit.
Okay, this question hits home for me. How do you deal with not comparing yourself to your smaller friends? I think this is something that like, even if I could go back, I don't know if I could say like I wouldn't have that insecurity anymore, because I just, for whatever reason, the schools I grew up in, I was always one of the tallest in my class. That's why I always talk about my height now. Like, I'm really not that tall. I'm like 5'7.5", 5'8" on a good day. Like, I just like, for whatever reason, that like just always growing up the tallest one, when they're like, okay, tallest in the back, I go to the back, and like feeling big when all the guys only liked the very, very short, small girls. Like, that clearly like ingrained something in me. And even though I can logically look back and be like, oh, I just like grew sooner, and these guys literally didn't grow until they were like seniors, you know what I mean? I can say it sucks, because I felt like I always thought I was like ugly, or like guys didn't like me, or I was just like the duff, or like I was, I don't know. Like, I think that like, I don't know if I necessarily have advice other than it gets so much better.
Yeah.
But that definitely like was a huge insecurity of mine. Honestly, still sometimes, like if I wear super huge heels, I'm like, oh, I would wear these heels if I wasn't 7 feet tall, which like, I wish I didn't think that way, because if I see a tall girl in heels, I'm like, oh my God, yes, bitch, work. Model. But when it's me, I'm like, I feel like a huge fucking ogre. So like, I'm just not going to wear these really cute Sabrina Carpenter platform boots. And again, like, oh, it sucks, because I'm like, I mean, I still like, I love high heels, but I'll barely wear them. So I don't know if this is necessarily good advice. This is just me saying I'm still just struggling with it.
I think that's beautiful though. Like we don't have it all figured out, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, we are still currently going through it now. And if we do this again, when we do this again, in a year again, I'm sure our answers will change.
Yeah.
But I do think, I totally know what you mean though. Like, you could go back to your old mindset. I understand like putting myself back. I could put myself right back in the feeling of feeling insecure and unwanted and all those sorts of things. Like, when I used to feel that way, like, it's so easy to put yourself back there, even if you understand, yeah, those guys are probably, they hadn't hit their growth spurt yet. So their only options to feel tall were the little 5 feet girlies. Like, totally understand that, but it doesn't make it better. Like, you still can feel those feelings. So I totally get that. I think, it's so hard. I grew up with I still have the most petite mom. Like, I look at her, I'm like, how did you birth me? Like, I'm taller than her. I weigh like literally twice as much as her sometimes. Like, it's just, I don't understand how it makes sense, but, and I feel like a lot of my life, I was just like not understanding why I was so much bigger than whether it was my cousins, like even within family specifically, friends.
Yeah, genetically. See, I haven't struggled with that. Like, that would be very hard too.
It was just like, make it make sense. Why is she literally so small?
Like, 1 + 1 does not equal 4.
I'm like, I was dropped off on the doorstep. But it's like, honestly, again, genetically, whatever it is genetically, I got the recessive gene. I think it's just something that you have to come to terms with. Yeah. That's the only thing I can say. I wish I had more advice. I agree with it gets better. It does.
And you know why it gets better? I've talked about this in regards to turning 30, which it applies here too. It's like, am I like, wow, I have the absolute best body type now and I think I look perfect and I'm like so hot and whatever? No, but I'm just so tired of trying to feel like maybe I could look somewhere else, or like look like this, or like trying so hard to work out to get like thinner thighs, when now I'm just like, bitch, you got thighs. You will always have thighs.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay. You know? So I think it's like coming to terms with like, you know what? Like, I can't change this. Everyone, even someone who you think has the perfect body, will talk about an insecurity they have. And that happens. One thing I'm a pear shaped. So like my upper abs, like I've never really gained weight in my upper stomach, where like I've had so many people be like, oh my God, like your abs. And I'm like, okay, but like, but body T. I'm like, oh my God, thanks. No, I'm just kidding. And I'm like, yeah, but because of that, all my weight goes to my thighs, and like, they don't, and where they're the opposite.
That might not be something they struggle with.
Yeah. So it's just, again, everything, grass always is greener on the other side. Even something that like I don't struggle with, maybe you struggle with, and vice versa. And I'm just like, or, oh my God, you have no cellulite. And I'm so fucking jealous, bitch. You'll wear these short little mini skirts. And I'm like, I want to so bad, which like, yes, I can. But I've also come to terms with, if I don't feel comfortable in something, I don't have to wear it.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I kind of struggle with some body positivity stuff, where it's like, wear whatever you want, do whatever you want. I'm like, yes, but I'm like, but in the end, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to. Just because I know I still look hot and sexy as fuck in a mini skirt doesn't mean I have to wear it if I don't feel comfortable in it. You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes it can feel like, no, you should wear this because you can, which is like, yes, I can, but I also like feel more comfortable like this.
You know what I struggle with too? I feel like the idea of things being quote unquote flattering. I do understand. And like also one thing to go back to what we were just saying, the problem with all of this of what we're talking about, which this would literally not be a problem if this did not exist, is the idea of, society's norms of what is quote unquote beautiful and hot and sexy and ideal. Like that is obviously the problem that we have. If that was never a thing, if the idea of heroin chic was not like so trendy when we were growing up, then we would not be having this conversation right now.
The only perfect body that society tells you isn't even achievable genetics wise. Like you want the model legs, you don't get the ass with it. You have the ass, you don't have the model legs that go with it. Like it's like you like it's like it picks and chooses every single quote good trait and puts it together in a body that's not even achievable without like modification. Like so then it's just so frustrating because it's like, okay, like it's just you can't keep up and you can't it'll never, I don't know. Not all of us are Kourtney Kardashian, who's like has no body. You know, in the interview, she was like, it was like what they did it. It was so funny. They did it. I think it was for Skims. You don't remember? It was an ad where every sister modeled the Skims, and it was like, "What's your name? My name's Kendall. How old are you? 20. Blah blah blah. How high are you? This. What's your biggest insecurity?" And she'd be like, "My broad shoulders" or something. So like it went through every sister, and Kourtney's was the only one. It was like, "What's your biggest insecurity?" She's like, "I don't have any."
Good.
And I was
That's
like,
amazing.
"No, I'm so jealous." I was like, "Damn!" Like I've never really met anyone like that who's like, "No, I actually don't have any like body insecurities."
That's
you
like
know?
Dua Lipa when they're like, "What's your better side?" She's like, "Doesn't matter."
Oh, mine's my right.
Either side.
Can't relate.
Honestly, though, I love that. Like, I love that for them. I really do.
Sorry, I just thought of this when you said better side. Like, that's something else. I would get so much body dysmorphia looking at photos and videos of me until I realized I was like, Alisha, you just have a better side and that's okay. Like, I would think, because I always wanted a nose job ever since I was freaking in like middle school. And I remember like looking at photos and I'd be like, my nose. And now, after years and years, after over a decade of filming myself and taking photos for the internet as like an influencer, I've finally realized, oh, I just don't like my face from that angle, which is like everyone has that.
You know the video of Ariana Grande where she refused to let them see her right side?
No, and what's funny is I'm the opposite. It's my left side. But like, that's
it's
fine.
a thing for a reason.
But I think our minds are so crazy, especially like you see one photo and you're like, that's what I actually look like. The way that a wide lens will make me look like my nose is so fucking big because it's you put a 0.5 photo on your face and tell me that's what you actually look like. No, but like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like there's so much to it that luckily now it's like, have you seen those videos that it's a photographer and it takes photos of a subject with all different focal lenses?
No.
It will show you the difference of a 50 millimeter lens to like a 12 to like a wide.
Oh, that's cool.
It shows how lenses will distort your body.
You know how people say like you can't listen to the hate comments, but you also can't listen to like the ones that love you because like it's not healthy. I choose to believe that the bad photos of me are not what I look like, but I
You're
also have to
so
believe the
right.
best photos of me are not what I look like. She's somewhere in the middle.
I thought you meant the best ones are. I'm like, you're so right. I'm so real for that. Like, yeah, like clearly best angle.
So truly, honestly, it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
It's somewhere between Poot and Demi.
When I see a horrible photo of myself, I feel like now I can look and like, well, I'll make fun of it. I'll be like, Remi, look how bad I look.
Yeah.
But I'm like aware it's just a fucking bad photo and I wasn't ready. Okay. I wasn't ready. I didn't know that the camera was taken. Okay.
That was a test shot.
Yes. But me 10 years ago, I would have been like, oh my God, that's what I look like. And I would have had this sinking feeling in my gut of like, wow, I'm so ugly. Also, I've learned I'm tall. I can't stand on the end of photos. I have to be in the middle. And you know what? The second I figured that out, boom, suddenly I look hot in every photo.
I didn't know that you thought that.
I'm getting a nod. Yes.
Really?
Tall girls get it. If you're on the end, you
Really?
look 3 times as big just because of the distortion. Or if I'm not in a line, because you know how normally like the lines kind of V out? If I'm just closest to the camera, I look a foot extra taller. And it's just like, but again, no one else is looking but me.
I mean, it's just so funny because I know obviously how you feel about being tall, but the way that I would give anything to not have, like, to be a little bit taller, like, so, like, I would love to walk in your shoes for a day.
The things you would see.
You know what I mean? I know. And I know grass is always greener, but like you just said, no one's like looking at that.
Yeah.
I feel like if you look tall, I'd be like, damn, bitch, you look like a model.
Oh, I would just be like, wow, I looked so big. Like I just look, it's like cute. Like I literally like how Chloe would be to like Kim and Kourtney.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, speaking of genetics, like damn. But for me, I'm like, oh my, it's again, realizing no one else is looking at you. Everyone's looking at themselves in photos.
Yeah.
Is the first step of acceptance.
Also like gym intimidation. Like everyone's always like, how do you go to the gym and work out? Which I'm sure like there are questions about that. No one's looking at you.
No one's looking at you. And the most nice, respectful way. No one cares. Like no one's looking at you.
You are going to the gym to work out and then go home. Like everyone's there to do it. No one wants to be there. Everyone wants to go home after.
So yeah, if you need to stand in the middle, find your good side, that's okay.
Someone asked, Remi, how did you find out you have PCOS? Did you ask a doctor or did a doctor tell you? / also, I'll go into this as well because this will go in. Another person asked, I just started a GLP-1. What is the one thing that you recommend the most? Okay, so I'll do a little quick spiel. In case you didn't know, I found out that I had PCOS. I struggled my whole life with having a period, with weight gain, with tiredness, with all the things. I will say I never really struggled too much with excessive body hair, which is like a very big indicator if you have PCOS.
And that's just one of them. There's so many.
Yes. So I always thought like, oh, I didn't have it very bad because I didn't struggle with all of the lists, all the symptoms on the list. I found out because I had gotten birth control back in 2018. I had gone when I was like 16 or so to the doctor. I don't know if it was an OBGYN, but a doctor, because I wasn't getting a period. They recommended me to go on birth control as a 16-year-old. And my mom said, well, I don't really want her to get on that if she doesn't necessarily need it, if she's not having sex yet. I wasn't. So, spoiler, I wasn't, not for a long time. And so she said, my mom was like, okay, well, if she doesn't have to, then I'd rather she not. So I didn't get on anything. When I was 22, I think it was, I got birth control for the first time. And I had done the Nexplanon, which is the birth control that goes into your arm, got that in, had a really horrible experience with that. Developed like really horrible cystic acne, my weight plateaued. I was really trying to lose weight at that time. And I like had a really hard time. Like my body just changed. So many things were off. And I believe you can have it for 3 years, 3.5 years. I had it in for, I believe, like 2 years or so, 1.5 years. I forget exactly how long. I went to go get it taken out. And when I got it taken out, I had found out from the doctor very abrasively, very passively that I had PCOS. He was like, well, why would you get this one? Because I told him I was like struggling with so many of the symptoms. I wanted it out. And he like looks at my chart and he's like, well, why would you have gotten this one? You have PCOS. And then like literally left the room. And I was like, wait, question. First of all, what does that stand for? Second of all, what does that mean? Found out I had PCOS. I've been struggling my whole life. I didn't know. And then I tried to get on other birth controls to help with that after. Went through a lot of medication to try and fix it after. And it wasn't until 2023 I found a PCOS specialist who's been helping me with everything. But I have so many people in my life now. I'm not kidding. Like I feel like I am the poster child for PCOS. Within all of our friends and things, if they're talking to me like, oh, I'm struggling with my weight, I feel like I'm trying to lose weight and I'm not losing any weight. My periods are out of whack, whatever it is. They're like, what do you think it could be? I'm like, go get tested to see if you have PCOS, or it could be something else, endometriosis, like so many other things that could be hormonal. But it's honestly, you can tell from a simple blood test. They just need to run the scan for it. And it's simply a ratio. If you have X amount over X amount, and it's high, boom, you have it. So it's that simple. I wish I had known this whole time. I did not know.
Also, there's levels. Like yours is extreme.
Yeah.
And I remember I talked about me having PCOS a few years ago, but that's when I was working out so hardcore that technically my doctor at the time was like, yeah, like it is PCOS, but it's not like extreme. And now it's like, I don't have those levels anymore. Like the ratio is back normal.
Yeah.
So like, it just shows how like, there are so many different levels to it. So obviously like you'll only know that with a doctor.
Getting the diagnosis was so great. It was still really sad because I was like, oh, now I feel like while it's so nice to be validated that something was wrong, then I felt like I was at the bottom of another huge and even bigger mountain where I'm like, okay, well, how do I figure this out? But with the help of my doctor, who's been amazing, I have been on a GLP-1. I've been super open about that since I started. And it changed my life, honestly. It really, really did in so many ways. I think make sure you go talk to your doctor about it, get real answers from a physician who like obviously knows what they're talking about. Get more than one opinion. I think it's so important, but I just want to like sit here and I don't want to, come on here and like tell everyone like you should start it. It's the best thing ever. For me personally, it was amazing because I struggled so much with my high cortisol, with my insulin resistance, all these sorts of things this was literally made to help me. My body literally works as if I am diabetic and I was very close to being pre-diabetic. And so it's been amazing for me. But also in tandem with working out, with developing a better, healthier lifestyle. Because before I was incredibly sedentary. I feel like I was just in not a good place. I was honestly slipping into
a completely different person.
I was slipping into a depressive state because I was so tired all the time. I couldn't do anything. I was just like, I was not enjoying any part of my life. And now I feel like I've become so much happier because I don't want to just give it on, like, say it was just the medication, because it wasn't. And I feel like a lot of people look at my content now and are like, oh, well, she only lost weight because of Ozempic. And like, I'll get comments that like, Ozempic is Ozempicing, or things like that. I'll get comments like that. I'll totally give it its flowers. Like, it changed my life. But I feel like a lot of people just look at me and are like, oh, she lost weight because she got on Ozempic. That's it. But it was like, no, I lost weight because I have implemented a lot of different changes into my life. I found a really healthy balance of things in my life. Like, I still love food. I will always love eating like fun foods and fried foods and all those sorts of things. And I'll do a lot of it on camera, but off camera and on camera still, I still am like finding balance and eating healthy things and finding a good balance between the two, because I have slipped into a lifestyle in the past where I was not eating enough and I was working out way too much. And I thought that was the only way that I could, quote unquote, take care of myself. And I didn't realize the harm that I was causing. Now I feel like I've found medication that has helped me and healed my body. Like, that's the way that I like to look at it more than like, I'm not taking Ozempic and not eating and starving myself and relying on that and abusing it. I'm taking it to help me heal the things in my body that needed to be healed, with also working out regularly, with also going outside, with also eating better. But I still am eating foods that might not be the quote unquote healthiest, but like, I found a good balance between the two. I'm not working out every single day. I work out when I want to work out. If I'm really sore, I take the day off instead of like trying to push my body too much. I feel like someone could definitely look at me and be like, oh, she's just doing it to lose weight, which like is not it at all. But if people want to think that, they can think that. All I know is I have found such a good routine. And also what I wanted to say with this, so sorry, my doctor has really stressed to me from the beginning with starting medications like this. A lot of people will just do them just to lose weight, or will not work out, or will not change their lifestyle. And as soon as you get off of it, boom, you gain all the weight back because you're not actually developing any sort of healthy habits. So I've been actively trying to do that. She also very much stresses, when you're on a medication like this, you need to be hitting your protein goals. You need to be eating a lot of protein because you also need to be gaining muscle. At the same time, you can't just be losing fat. And also you need to drink a lot of water. So for me, every day, I'm really trying to focus on water, really trying to focus on protein and developing a healthier lifestyle so that when I do eventually get off the medication, I have these proper tools in place. Next question. Girlies, what's your favorite workout at the moment? XOXO, love you both. Love you too.
Obviously yours is Pilates.
Yes, I've been a Pilates girl.
So I haven't really been working out at all.
And that's okay.
It's actually funny because I actually want to start again, and it's finding that routine with it all. But like, even yesterday I just walked on the treadmill because I was like, I just need to like sweat. It wasn't to like, oh, I need to lose 10 pounds. It was like, I just need to like move my body and sweat and like get it going. I also have had a handful of people the past few months being like, oh, like you look like you've lost weight. And I'm like, no, I just like truly stopped weightlifting and I gained muscle so quick. I know you're the exact same. And I think that's another like aspect to, even when I was like my fittest and I was like, I had like the lowest body fat percentage and I was like super into my like health and fitness, I still didn't like how I looked physically. And I remember being like, if I'm putting all of this effort into like weights and all these things, and I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder, like I don't need to be in the gym like 6 times a week, you know what I mean? Like, and lifting these super heavy weights. Cause I was like, no, like I was just so muscular and I felt so heavy and big because it was all muscle, like hardly any body fat. Going back to also like, it's okay to like want to like how you look. Like I love when I like feel confident in myself. And I remember even then being like my lowest body fat percentage, I still didn't like how I looked because I felt like I looked too like buff basically. And again, it's all like personal preference and stuff. I guess what I'm saying is it's so interesting how when I like worked out so much and now like I feel like I've taken like a handful of steps back. Like, yeah, I technically have more like body fat, but I kind of like how a lot of my clothes fit better too. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I don't even weigh myself. I don't even know how much I weigh. I don't even own a scale. Actually, I think I do, but I think it's in the garage. I just like stopped weighing myself because it really like numbers don't matter. And on top of it, like just go off of how you feel. Like I can tell I'm bloated as fuck right now because my pants are a little tight, but I don't need to be like yelling at myself when I get on a scale. And that's just me. Like, and some people can get on a scale and they don't care what number they see, but like I almost am so good at now knowing what I am because I just know how I feel. And I'm like, if I feel this way, I'm really bloated. I need to drink more water and I need like, it's like, it doesn't matter what number it is at all. Because again, I weighed more when I had more muscle too. So it's just like, there's so much that goes into it. And I think for me personally, I love not having a scale. Obviously if I go to the doctors, they can weigh me. I just really go off of how I feel. And when I feel more confident, I'm usually wearing like cute little crop top or something. And if I'm not, then I'm not, and it's fine. Like it doesn't matter, but I just feel like I'm very in tune with, I think, how I feel in my body. And I've realized like, that's okay. And I think I'm more happier than ever. Like if I don't feel like wearing shorts one day, I'm just not going to wear them. And that's okay.
I guess in some degree is like body neutrality or just like some sort of acceptance.
Yeah.
I do think something that's interesting when you were just talking about that, a lot of girls I know, or like I see a lot of conversations online of like, I don't want to weight lift because I don't want to get bulky. Like that's a big thing people talk about. And I do think for a lot of people, like that's not something that you should be afraid of. But if you feel that way, then like obviously that's valid completely just as much as it not, you know?
Going back to genetics, my mom, I remember being young and her being like, I gain muscle so quick. It's just her body. Like if she does like 4 days of like lifting weights, her quads will be so big. Like, and I'm just the same way.
I remember our old trainer once was like, do you know that like guys will get calf implants to look like yours? And I was like,
thank you.
I don't want that. I wish I could wear regular boots.
No, and it's like cool. Again, grass is always greener. And I'm like, that's cool for some people. Maybe some people would kill for that. But like, I don't want that. Yeah. And like,
which
okay.
I think it's so like totally fine. I was thinking about that because so many girls are afraid.
It is true. Like,
but most people are fine and they won't look bulky.
Exactly.
And that's fine.
And again, you won't bulk unless you're like lifting heavy weight, but like, it's okay too. Like, I feel like I've had multiple trainers throughout the years. You have too. And like, even though like they specialize in it, you still know your body the best. Mm-hmm. So even if they're having me do squats with a heavy weight, I'm like, I want this lighter. You explaining your goals to them helps because like maybe they have a lot of girls who like don't gain muscle quick with their legs, but I'm just like, hey, I'm letting you know I will and I won't like it. Like it's okay to like
be specific.
Yeah, you know your body more than anyone. So if you're like, hey, the same way that you'd be like, hey, I have a bad back, don't do this exercise, you can be like, hey, I don't want this. Still trust them because I do believe like you're not going to bulk. You're not going to look like a bodybuilder just because you lift weights. Lifting weights is actually extremely good for your body. It's good for your muscles. It's good for everything. All right, guys, we're about to talk about something that has made my life so much easier. Some of you know, Ashley, my sister, recently moved out, and Taylor Farms chopped salad kits have come in clutch for me because I'm lazy when it comes to cooking, and especially cooking for one person. It can be a lot, but trust me, if you need something quick but still delicious and healthy, you need these salads in your life. So Taylor Farms is a family-owned company that's all about creating healthy lives through fresh, tasty food. And they've totally changed the salad game for me. They've got over 30 different chopped salad kit flavors to choose from. Every bag is an adventure. And I love that they're so easy, but they don't skimp on flavor. Each kit is so unique. It has a blend of fresh greens and veggies, plus the toppings and dressings are unreal. The Caesar one, oh my God. Amazing. Guacamole crunch, even better. Also, it's all packed separately from like the toppings and the dressings and all of it, so you can tailor to your tastes. You can use as much or as little as you like, and sometimes I'm in the mood just to dive in as like, I want everything. I want it loaded. I even want to add some extra grilled chicken on the side or toss in extra veggies if I'm feeling crazy fancy. And sometimes I want just exactly what's in the bag. You can totally make it your own. Another one of my favorite is the avocado ranch chopped kit. I'm obsessed. It's packed with crunchy lettuce, shredded carrots, green onions, and creamy avocado ranch dressing. That is amazing. But the best part is the crunchy tortilla chips on top. Oh my God. I think I might have that for lunch. Also, there's no washing or chopping. So when I'm juggling meetings or rushing to get content done or whatever it is, I don't have to stress about eating lunch or dinner, and it's all pre-washed, pre-cut, and just ready to go. It's perfect for anyone who's always busy, whether you're a working professional, a student, or you just are lazy and you don't feel like cooking after a long day. Taylor Farms really nails that sweet spot between convenience and freshness. Their salads aren't just quick, they're also super fresh and so flavorful. I mean, with over 30 options, there's no way salad ever has to be boring again. So if you want to make healthy eating a no-brainer, check out Taylor Farms chopped salad kits at your local grocery store.
Hey guys, it's Remi. I have to tell you about my first facial experience at Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa because I am absolutely obsessed. You guys know how I'm into skincare, but this facial took things to a whole new level for me. From the second that I arrived, the whole experience was focused on making sure that my skin got exactly what it needed. It basically started with like a super detailed consultation where my esthetician asked me about my skin concerns, my routine, and even my skincare goals. And after talking it through, she tailored the entire treatment to focus on hydrating and balancing my skin. We did like the diamond facial, and you guys, my skin looked so beautiful and gorgeous and glowy. It was crazy. I also love that it wasn't just like a one size fits all type of facial. They really personalized it for me. And I think that's what made such a difference. And now that I've had my first facial, I am already hooked. I'm literally going to go back monthly. I've been looking into their membership program. There's over 600 locations across the US and Canada. It's super convenient, whether I'm traveling or just need a quick self-care day. I know I can find a Hand and Stone nearby. Plus, with the membership, you get discounted services and priority booking, which makes it so much easier to keep up with your skincare routine without worrying about scheduling conflicts. I'm personally thinking of going for the Clarity RX Hydrating Facial next because it's all about deep hydration, improving skin texture, and reducing fine lines. And my esthetician told me that keeping up with treatments like this is the key to maintaining that glow long term. If you guys watch my vlog, you saw like my skin was like glass after. It was crazy and it was just so relaxing. So if you're thinking about stepping up your skincare game, I cannot recommend Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa enough. Book your first facial and I promise you'll see a difference. And don't forget, right now they're offering free aromatherapy with your introductory facial. It is a $10 value and it really adds that extra touch of relaxation. Just use code PRETTYBASICFREEAT when you book online or in spa. That's PRETTYBASICFREEAT. And the promo is valid until December 31st, 2024.
Okay, next question. I recently lost 130 pounds and noticed how people switched up on me. Can y'all relate? Yes.
Pop off, bitch.
I have gone through a couple weight loss transformations on YouTube. And I did a whole video about it the first time, and because I was really confused. The first time I lost a significant amount of weight, I've always been an obnoxious, loud,
hit the splits
kind of girl.
Twerk on a wall.
I've always been that kind of girl. Like literally since I popped out of the womb. And so
you popped out in the splits.
Literally, it was a scorpion. And so I've always been like that. I've always been myself on my vlogs. Like that's always been me. And then I remember when I lost weight the first time, I lost a significant amount of weight. All of a sudden, overnight, I started to get really crazy comments about how I was a slut and I was a whore and all these things. And I was just like, but I've always been doing the splits, but I've always been like really obnoxious. So I was like, I know that like this isn't different. Like nothing changed. What happened?
Well, I remember you would have multiple conversations with me separately, with Ollie separately, with both of us. And you were always so confused. And I remember sitting you down being like, Rem, like I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. Let me say that, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. I was like, but I really feel like people felt close to you because you were one of the only like bigger influencers, especially with like next to a whole bunch of people who are like super, super tiny and petite. And now you losing weight makes them feel bad about themselves and they're just like projecting and they're just being mean to you. Like before it was funny when you twerked on a wall and now you lost weight and suddenly you're a slut. Like the only common denominator here. And I know for a fact you haven't changed because I've been friends with you before and after. And it's a them insecurity. Like you haven't changed. You haven't randomly just become this like self-absorbed slut who like, which like, that's a whole other thing in itself. Just
which
like the term.
Fine.
Be a slut if you want.
Be a self-absorbed slut, girl.
Slut in the splits.
Do whatever you want to do. Like truly, I appreciate that. I remember just being really confused and I actually made a video about it. I did my own little Nikocado avocado social experiment where I took a photo. Yeah, we need to talk about that. But I posed in a certain like kind of risque pose. There was a girl, one of the like Insta baddies that I followed had posted this photo of her in bikini, like in this really cute, like hot pose. And I was like looking through all her comments and they were just like so nice. Like, oh my God, you're so hot. Love you, love you, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, I wonder, I already know if I pose in the same way, whore. And so I was like, I'm curious. I posed. We literally redid the exact photo.
I had one phone in hand with the girl posing and my other phone I was like, okay, chin down to the right. You're in palm springs.
We took a photo and we were like, I posted and I was just so curious, like, what is the reaction going to be? Exactly what I thought. Whore. Blah, blah, blah,
Remi, I used to love you.
Yeah,
and
I
now
used to love you. You've changed. You're like a, like, oh my God, this was, I think it might've been before OnlyFans, but like, you know, telling me all these sort of things. And I was just like sitting there laughing because I was like, I knew it. And granted, yes, it was different from like the old content that I used to do. And like in that moment, if I was going to go in that way with content, I did quote unquote change. But at the same time, it was just interesting to me that like I got such a different reaction when this girl who's just been thin her whole life got the reaction that she did for the exact same photo.
Yeah.
And so all to say, I've gone through this as well. I'm going through it currently in my new sort of health journey that I'm going on right now. And I don't have like an answer for you, honestly, other than I will say going through it right now, it is so much easier when I've already gone through it before. Because I think the first time I was so confused. I was like, wait, but like why? I don't understand. Now I definitely going through it before, understand. You know, when I gained weight back again or when I was heavier before, I always knew exactly what comments I was going to get. It was always going to be like fat, pig, cow, boom. Like that's usually like all the comments. And so you kind of like know. Now they're much more creative. I have to give them their props.
Are they?
It's funny.
AI.
It's just funny where I'm just like, wow, like it's just so predictable. Yeah. At the same time,
it's like you're not original.
And so I'm just here to tell you, like, you going through this right now, whether it's like people online or it's friends in real life or it's guys you're dating, I totally understand because I've been here before. With the online things, if you relate to that at all, which I'm sure to some degree everybody's online. If you're asking us the question, you're online. Totally understand. It happens. Will it go away? I'm not sure, to be honest, but also at the same time, just know it's usually a projection from somebody, or if they really do just have a problem, then like totally fine, but that's on them. Like there's nothing you can do to say or change that. So just want to say that for that. If it's with friends or with guys in dating, with friends, I think it's very layered, because I think if you did it in a healthy way, then your friend should be supportive with you and be excited for you. You know, I went through it the first time and I definitely had some friends that were really, really mean to me. And now looking back, I understand it was just a projection. But it's hard when you're going through it and your friends are being mean to you, because you're like, wait, why are you being mean? Like, I don't understand. But you know, those people will not be in your life. They will, like, you will either split up or you'll have like something happen. Like that'll just, it'll happen on its own. And with guys specifically, with dating, treating you differently, I think, that's a hard thing to handle, because I do feel like it's confusing, and it's also like nothing can kind of prepare you for that. Like being the girl that, like, for me, no guy ever wanted. And then when I lost weight, suddenly I had so much attention that I had been craving for so long, because all my friends, I was always the friend that was always getting it. I've like all the friends being like, oh my God, your friend's so hot. Like, can you introduce me? Or like never having, like, struggling to find a date for homecoming, like till the last, like, you know, hour. All my friends had dates, like, and no one ever wanted to go with me. Like things like that was always really hard. So when you like want it so badly and you watch all these movies and things and then you finally get it, like it absolutely went to my head, and it did make me a crazy person for a minute. But like eventually it'll wear off. It will wear off, because it just becomes like you understand it's not what you had imagined your whole life and what people had built up for you, what you built up for yourself. Like it does wear off eventually. And then you come back down to earth, and then you realize that you were being crazy and you need to take accountability and you need to work on that. And then you do.
I will say too, I mean, obviously I haven't lost 100 pounds, but a lot of times the insecurities I had when I was my heaviest, I still had when I was my lowest. And I think that's a whole other topic of conversation of like, unless you really do the inner work to heal a lot of those core beliefs that aren't right.
Yeah.
Like just because you lose weight, like it's not going to fix everything. You're not going to be like, wow, I finally feel happy, or I finally feel whatever. And then when in regards to dating, like you still may feel like no guy wants you, even if you are the weight you've always wanted to be. Like, I think that's also a slippery slope. So like in hindsight now, being aware that that's the case, I think I would even put less of a goal on like a goal weight, or like it's not like you need to sit here and be like, oh, if he wouldn't have given me attention then he doesn't deserve me now, and like da 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 da. But like focus on you, don't focus on them. Like focus on you and like your healing journey. I mean, yeah, if he didn't want you then he fucking doesn't deserve you now, I will say that. But like I think just don't even focus on them and what people think. Just focus on you and like yourself and glow and be the best you can be, like, and regardless of your weight, like, you are deserving of love. I think that's what I was trying to say. But,
no, for sure. It's a weird phenomenon for sure.
I can't even imagine.
And I can't imagine anybody being able to go through it 100% gracefully. Like, I really do think it's such a weird scenario.
I will say too, this isn't playing devil's advocate, but just a different POV too. Like, I have had friends who have lost a significant amount of weight, you being one of them, and a few other ones too. You being healthy now, you do glow differently. So it doesn't shock me that you're like, you're engaged now, so you don't have guys flocking at you, but like the glow you have like shows. So it's not like you weren't glowing before, but it's just like, there's this aura about you that like, you're healthy and you're glowing. So like, I also wouldn't want, like, if you were single right now, what I would be telling you is like, don't feel guilty for feeling like you're glowing now. Does that make sense of what I'm saying? Like, don't feel guilty. Like, if all these guys are coming to you, your aura is amazing and you're glowing and you're beautiful. Like, and it's not that you weren't beautiful before, but the way you carry yourself now is just so special.
Thank you.
So if you were single, I would be like, don't feel bad if you do have all these guys coming towards you, because it's like the way you're carrying yourself now versus a year ago, regardless of what weight you are, either one is different too. Yeah. So I think that's what I would want to tell you now if you were single.
I don't chase, I attract.
Exactly.
First of all, thank you. Second of all, I do think there is, like, thinking about the first time that I went through weight loss, I did it for me, but like the biggest thing that I was most excited for that would happen with that is like, oh my God, guys will finally want to date me. Yeah. That's all I had ever wanted, which I know sounds really embarrassing to say. But like, I know if you get it, you get it.
No, I think like 90% of people.
It was just like, it's all I had ever wanted was, because like growing up, again, being the girl that no one wanted, like that's all I ever wanted. I wanted to feel validated. I wanted to feel pretty. And I was not ready to get into the dating scene. Like, I thought that I was so ready. I thought that I was so excited. And then I ended up going into the dating scene in quite possibly the worst place I could have been in my entire life, seeking validation from literally any guy, and ended up going after the worst options that I could have had for me, and just like begging to be liked by people who were not good to me.
Yeah.
And it caused a lot of trauma. Yeah. It really did.
And I really feel like you did have to just go through that though.
For sure. You know? And I'm actually so grateful for those experiences. And like, I'm so grateful that I went through that, so that now when I'm going through this journey now, I'm so much better equipped. Like I'm so fine now. But I will say now, I went through all that, obviously, had to learn a lot about myself, had to take a lot of accountability, had to I grew up a lot from that scenario, from just like that little time period of my life, and doing it online was really hard. But I will say now, this time that I'm in currently, I am in a healthy relationship. I did it for literally nobody else but myself. And it's such a better mindset to be in now, because even when I gained weight, and Cal and I were together still at that time, like and COVID is honestly where I gained most of the weight. And it was just Cal and I at home. And I know a lot of people, like, you go through relationship weight, you go through like, obviously we had COVID weight and things like that. I'm very grateful and lucky that I'm with a partner who never for a day looked at me differently from a single pound that I gained. Like, literally never. I'm so lucky. And I know not everybody is in that scenario. And if you're in that scenario where your partner is making you feel bad about gaining weight, leave them. You don't need it. But I feel like I was just blessed with like such a beautiful scenario of having the most amazing supportive friends, family, partner, and finding a doctor who like actually helps me and cares about me, to set me up for the scenario that I'm in now. And like, it is out there for you. So if you're out there, if you're listening and you're struggling, whether you're in a relationship and feeling that way, whether you're dating and you feel that way, like I've been there too, and it does get better.
I'm gonna go cry.
No.
I don't know if this is TMI. Sorry, Cal, putting you on the spot. But like, did you ever wonder if he was thinking stuff? Or like, did you guys have a conversation about it? Or did you never just feel that energy from him? Like, did you never feel judged? Or like, how does someone know if they're in that type of relationship?
I never for a second felt any sort of insecurity, ever. I'll even bring it up now, to be honest, sometimes. Not in like a degrading way to myself, but I'm just like, I will tell him like, wow, I'm so grateful that you've never made me think anything else. And I even look different right now than I did when I met him, if we're being like super honest. Like,
that's everyone though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, technically, he's seen lots of different Remis in our 5 years. And he'll always respond and be like, you're beautiful no matter what you look like. I don't care what you look like, which is just so sweet and validating to me. And again, like, those people are out there. So if you're listening, that is for you. But I will say, I remember one time when before I had found my doctor and this whole situation, and I was just like not feeling great in myself. We were fornicating. And I have a giant mirror next to my bed.
You do.
Which,
not very feng shui.
Honestly, I need to remove anyways, even for like, no matter what. I just don't like seeing it. But we were just having a little alone time, and I looked over, and I remember it like took such a toll on my self-confidence. And it did for a long time, honestly, because it's just like such an intimate thing that I feel like I did not want to see. And I feel like it brought on so many insecurities that I didn't even I had never thought about before.
Well, you already have insecurities in your head when having sex, let alone when there's, I
don't need to see it like that.
Yeah.
And it's just,
when, oh my God, not to make it a funny moment, but the trend of like when that girl was like, I wonder what I look like on top.
Was that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh my God, it was so funny. She like has the camera and then she goes over. She goes over and then her eyes get big and she just goes back. It was so funny, but it's again angles. The camera. It'll do that to you.
It's nothing you want to see. Truly,
it was so because it was like some girls were so hot doing it, and they looked so hot. You know what I mean? But then it was just very realistic. It's like there's no one looks good from that angle.
No one wants to see that. You don't want to see it from bottom. You don't want to see it from the side. Like, it just really was. I was like, ooh, I just remember feeling like very unconfident. So I should remove the mirror. It's just like nothing. I felt fine before. I was just physically seeing it myself. I was like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, we all have those moments for sure. I need to remove that mirror. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Anyways, if you want to buy Mr. Ashton's mirror, there will be a link in the description box.
Check her out.
Free for you. You just need to come pick it up.
Yeah, free. Just come to LA. Let me know. Facebook Marketplace. Okay, last question for our Q&A. I always feel guilty after I eat quote unquote unhealthy foods. How can I fix this mindset?
Oh my God. Actually, I feel like I have a few answers. One is obviously like, don't punish yourself. Don't feel guilty. Like, instead of thinking every day is a fresh start, realize that every meal is a fresh start, because that used to happen to me where I'd be like, fuck, I already messed up my breakfast. Today's a waste. I'll just eat whatever I want and start tomorrow. That's actually not how it works. But I remember hearing advice of like, it's actually every meal is a good time for you to restart and like get back into it. And like, even if I sleep in late, I'm like, oh, my day's gone. It's ruined. Like, I can't be productive today. I guess I'll start tomorrow. It's like, no, like, every meal can be a new time to like, you know what? I didn't mean to have those waffles for breakfast, but they snuck their way into my mouth. How dare they? But you know what? For lunch, I'll get back on track. Like, it doesn't have to be an all like day or like next week or whatever. Like, it's literally just, okay, cake pop fell into my mouth when I tripped.
That was crazy how that happened.
How the hell did that happen twice in 1 week? But you know what? We're going to get back on it for lunch. Like, fresh start. It's okay. So that's one thing that really helped me. Another one, when it comes to like having fun, like we were just in Vegas, as they know. Another thing that's helped is especially vacation. I feel like we travel a lot and it's so easy to be like, I'm on vacation, who cares? But especially when you do travel a lot, you're like, oh, I'm always on vacation. You know what I mean? Like, I want to like have fun, but I also don't want to regress in all of the progress I've ever made. But I think having the better mindset of like, oh my God, when we were in Vegas a while ago, of like, we had the best day ever. And I was like drinking my massive frosé and I was like, this is so much sugar, but like, also I'm going to look back and this is going to be one of my favorite days of my life. Enjoy it. Like, don't worry about the weight. Like, don't feel guilty. I'm actively choosing to have this massive frosé in a champagne bottle. Like, own the fact that I'm willing to. I think sometimes too, I would easily like those like cheat days or those unhealthy meals would happen. And then the next day I'd be like, oh no, how did I get here? And it's like, Alisha, be fucking for real with yourself. You let yourself, and that's okay, but own it. Like, it's like, okay, I am currently choosing to have my frosé and eat my donuts and do whatever. And I'm going to enjoy this day with my best friend because this is what we want to do to enjoy ourselves. And I will get back into my routine later. But more importantly, I'm going to look back and like this, I'm not going to remember the calories I didn't eat. I'm going to remember that like the fun times we had. Like, and it's like a once in a lifetime, like it barely happened. Like just being gentle with yourself. And especially when it comes to like your birthday, eat the fucking cake.
Yeah.
The amount of years I'd be like, I don't want much cake. It's like, yes, but also as someone who can be like all or nothing and can struggle more on the binge side versus the not eating side, like don't eat the whole cake. Like that's okay, Alisha.
Yeah.
You know, like you're allowed to have a little bit. You can celebrate your birthday, or even if you're at friends' birthdays, and it can be hard when like friends all have birthdays one crazy month and you're like, damn it, like I'm just trying to be like healthy and everyone's having parties and I want to enjoy myself. Like you can enjoy yourself, but like you don't have to have 10 drinks. You can have a glass of wine or like 2 glasses of like moderation. I think that's like the biggest thing when it comes to like not feeling guilty is just realizing like, you know what? Or another thing that's helped too is like if I know I'm having a friend's birthday, then that the rest of the day, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to eat, okay? Because it's not good to not eat for like a meal like that, but I'm going to be aware, ooh, we're going out, we're probably going to have great dessert. So you know what? I'm going to be mindful of what I'm eating throughout the day. Like, yes, maybe I want French toast for breakfast, but you know what? I know I'm going to have fucking cake tonight and it's going to be so good. And like, just like I think for me personally, being very all or nothing, I think that's helped me a lot of like looking forward to those dinners of like, ooh, we get to go to dinner and I'm going to have like my favorite mochi donuts there or like something like that. And then that helps me have motivation to want to eat cleaner too. And I think like, then I don't feel as guilty when I do have those meals. Because you shouldn't feel guilty. Food is so fucking fun. I love food. But it's also like, it's okay to pick and choose your battles, you know?
For sure. I feel like a lot of people, this is something I've struggled with a lot. And I think this is just diet culture being ingrained in us since we were young. But I know a lot of people like to not distinguish food as like unhealthy or quote unquote healthy. And that's something I'm not actively trying to unlearn because I do think it's just like in my head, I do think very like literally like a big, large bucket of fries is not going to nourish or give me as much energy or just flat out be as healthy for me as a bucket of apples or a bucket of lettuce or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So like, I do struggle with that if I'm just being honest.
Oh, like that mentality.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people are like, food should have no
association.
Yes, which I totally agree and understand. I just don't know if I'll personally ever get there.
I also personally don't agree with that simply because I like to go off of how I feel. Speaking of no scale, and I like how I feel. If I eat 3 bags of candy, I feel sick. So I go off of like, how do I feel? As much as I fucking love my In-N-Out and I will have my cheese fries and I will have my shake. You saw me that one time. I get so bloated. My sodium, I don't know what, my face gets physically bloated and I hurt, but it's so good and I'm going to eat it. So it's like, I don't feel as good from that as I would from like a well-nourished, balanced meal. But I still am fine eating it and I don't make myself feel guilty for eating it. I think it's more of like personal. I don't know. Yeah, no, I would love to get to the point where I just see food as food, but unfortunately I think I think it's from diet culture being ingrained in me. But I will say for me, with like making so much food content and doing so many taste tests and things for TikToks and things and like, you know, the viral bulldog noodles or the candy or the donuts or like getting so much food and things sent to me. There was a time in my life where I would have never eaten it or I would have taken a bite and spit it out. Like there is a time in my life where I would have done that and I'm not doing that again, but I will try the things for camera. It is work. I'm not going to eat it all. I'm so happy when I have everybody on set with me because everybody gets to eat. The other day I stopped by for lunch and you were cooking. I was like, are you gonna eat that? I want that.
No, it's so fun. Like, and I love getting everyone's reactions, obviously, but it's like, I'm in such a better place with that now. But then also I'm aware like, okay, what I film a lot of times on camera is unfortunately, all the viral stuff is all the unhealthy stuff or the stuff that's not as nutrient dense or whatever way you want to think about it. But then off camera for dinners, I try my best to eat balanced meals of protein, hitting my protein goals, having my vegetables, having salads, having, carbs and like making sure they're well-balanced meals when I can off camera or still on camera. But just, again, the stuff that goes viral, of course, is just all of the crazy candy stuff.
Well, and again, going back to like moderation, because years ago when I was still at the apartment and that's one of the first times I was in like a fitness thing, I definitely was not having moderation. I would just have my one cheat meal a week. But if I was filming like a DIY snacks video, the way I would think is I would be like, well, if I already had some, I already fucked up for the day, so I'm just going to eat the rest all day. Like that was a very bad way to think of, but that's because I was restricting myself so much from the candy, where now I can be around food and be like, no, I don't want any, because I just don't want it.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd even get there. Or I can be like, yeah, I'm going to have one or have a bite, not feel guilty. But the times I felt guilty is when I was highly restricting myself.
Yeah.
So I think like that's a whole other, and again, this is all just me. Like everyone's so different.
So personal. Also for me, even like if I have a taste test day where I'm trying candy and donuts and noodles and this and that, like I'll feel sick after. Like I just, it's a lot. There are times where I'm like, I can't do it. I'm not taking any more bites. Like I feel sick. And then dinner will come around and I'm honestly like, I'm not hungry, but I am trying again I don't try these crazy foods every single day. So I'm really trying to keep up the balance and the schedule and implementing these healthy habits for the rest of my life. So even if I'm not hungry, I will still make a well-balanced meal and I'll have a few bites and then I'll save it for lunch the next day. But it's still getting in the routine of eating meals, not skipping meals, having well-balanced meals, and making sure I'm taking care of myself.
Well, and I love that, because even like think about having kids. You're not going to be like, okay, you ate all that for lunch, I guess just don't eat dinner. Like, no, we're not almond moms over here. We're not going to be. So it's like, I think it also makes it easier just to know, oh shoot, I have dinner in an hour where I'm going to be eating this chicken thing or whatever. Like, to not just like, I don't know. I think it is really hard with what you do. That would be very hard for me to just like have a few, because I'm just like, oh my God. But
I know, and they taste so good.
And of course it's so good. But so good.
So good.
But yeah, I mean, we do travel a lot, but even when we were in like Japan and Korea, I wasn't like, oh, I'm not gonna eat that. I'm like, no, I'm literally here. I'm gonna live my life.
Yeah.
I know when I go back home, I'm gonna be bloated, but that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
And you know what? Bloat always
floats
fades
away.
She does.
She does eventually.
It's true. And I feel like that's, like, to end on this note, a lot of people are asking about like weight fluctuation. How do you come to terms with it? Like, we fluctuate every day. I've always talked about, I know I talk about it a lot, but like, I'm so happy to have a period finally. And I love texting Alisha about it. I'm like, oh my God, like
we're
I'm
cycle
in this
sisters
phase.
this month.
We are cycle sisters. And I just think it's so, as dumb as it sounds, it's really fun.
No.
I get really excited.
Oh, no, you should.
I get really
you worked
excited.
really hard for it. Are you kidding?
I get excited.
Also, the last thing on this, and I know we've touched on it before, but the way that I now have learned about like cycle syncing and like understanding the different phases you're in with your period, it helps me feel so much better about myself and my bloating, because every time before my period, I get so fucking bloated. And I'm like, how did I get here? I thought I was doing good. And then the second my period's done, boom, I feel skinny as fuck. Like, it's just like the way that our bodies are so beautiful and they do so much. The knowledge that comes with that, I feel so much less, I'm so much less hard on myself when it's the week before my period. And there's not much knowledge about that yet. Like, just now I feel like, especially like I've learned so much on TikTok, but like, I just always thought I like gained a lot of weight every month. Like, and I didn't realize like, oh, like even if I ate the cleanest meal you could ever find, I still would, simply because of hormones. Like, and that's just
you would bloat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Like, I would look like I have a food baby.
Which is so, like last month or this month, I think it literally was like a couple weeks ago, I looked in the mirror and I was like, I look super ugly today. And then I realized, oh my God, I think I was in my luteal phase. Which everyone always says, like, yeah, you're going to like feel ugly. And I was like,
it's always before your period.
I was actually so excited to feel that, because I have wanted to feel that so long. And I just think this is such a dumb comparison, but I think about this a lot. When my brother and sister-in-law first had my nephew, and they were like literally had like a newborn baby. They were telling me, and I know moms are going to laugh at this because it's such a dumb, naive way to think, but they were telling me like, you have to feed them every 2 hours, 2 hours, bottle, 2 hours, bottle, 2 hours, bottle. And I remember being like, oh, like that's a good amount of time, like in between. Not really, obviously, because you need sleep and things, and like having a newborn is so hard. But I remember being like, oh, you get like a little bit of a break. And then when I was there and I was trying to feed him his bottle, it's not like they glug, 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 and then you get an hour and 58 minutes off. No. It takes them at least an hour to drink the bottle. You got to burp them. You got to take a little break. They're just like, they're not just chug-a-lugging.
Yeah.
And then I remember being done, and it was like 40 minutes till the next bottle. And I was like, what?
You're like, already?
It's again? Yeah. And that's incessant. That's all it happens. But like, it's just that when you have a baby, and this is obviously a dumb comparison, but in the same way, I'm like, with like understanding having a period now, I'm like, you go through a phase, and then you're like, you go through it. Next week, you're in a different phase. Next week, you're in a different phase. Next week, your period. Next week, you're back to it. Like, it's incessant. It never stops.
I also saw on Instagram that When you're on your period, you're dilated 1 centimeter, and that's why you have cramps.
Oh my God.
1 centimeter.
Wait,
1 centimeter.
No.
You have to have you have to be at 10 to have a kid.
Yeah.
Crazy. If you're doing it vaginally, obviously.
And that's the problem, like that.
Because that's how
it
the blood
hurts.
well, the blood comes out.
Yeah, no, but like it hurts.
And also it's like it's shedding and stuff, but like that's why you have cramps is because it's like getting rid of your period. Yeah, crazy.
Oh.
Crazy.
Mothers are incredible.
Also, another fun fact. Our cycles are 30 days.
Yeah.
Guys are 1 day. Track Cal's cycle.
Isn't it so funny?
But that's why.
Like, what happens on their cycle day?
Well, that's so okay. I look into it more because it actually is really interesting. But it was saying how like the day is set up for men and males because wake up, workout, that's the best for their type of body. Like, you know, at the beginning of the month, we're like, we feel on top of the world and we're like ready to go. That's them every morning, essentially. So like what we go through in a month, they go through in a day. Obviously it's different because it's different like reproductive organs.
I see what you're saying. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant like 1 day of the month they have their cycle.
No. Every day. So it's like the way that the society has set up our work day of like wake up super early at like 5 a.m., work out, get ready, go to work. Like that is structured for a man's.
Isn't everything always structured for a man?
That's what I'm getting at because that's all they study because periods make us too complicated.
Likely excuse.
Well, it makes sense. If every week's different, who's their test subjects? You change too much.
Not a valid excuse.
No, it's not. Come on, doctors. Where's your PhD? I'm just kidding.
That is interesting, though.
It's very interesting. I could be slightly wrong because I did see it on TikTok, but again, you're trusting an influencer for advice.
That,
so.
I mean, yeah, if you take away anything, if you take away anything from this episode, don't.
Just don't. No, I'm kidding. Thank you guys so much for sending in questions. I know we answered a lot that we didn't read, but I know we answered a lot. Looking through them, we were like, oh, we kind of already answered that. So thank you to everyone who sent some in. We love you oh so much. And seriously, on a real note, like you are not alone dealing with all of this. I know we've dealt with our own stuff. Everything gets so much better. You are sexy and beautiful. And if someone doesn't love you where you are right now,
Leave them.
fuck them. Not literally, or unless you want to.
Yeah, on your terms. You decide what you want. And if
decide
you're a
what you want,
slut, that's
girl.
okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. Also, I was thinking this when you were talking about your PCOS. I forgot that we did a Remi PCOS tell all like a few months ago.
Oh.
So not you forgetting too.
It was Celine.
Celine the cyst.
Celine. I didn't remember we did that, but go check her out.
Well, I was going to say if Rem didn't answer any of the other PCOS questions you had, I know we did a deep dive into like a lot more about that. So
Okay,
go check
good.
out that episode about just like of everything of like diagnosis and all that kind of stuff. But
Oh my God. That's so embarrassing.
no, Remi, we have 2 podcasts
Broken
and I never know
record.
what day it is.
I apologize, everybody.
No. You did different questions anyway.
Okay, good.
We love you guys so much, and we will see you next week with a new episode of Pretty Basic.
Love
if you've made it
you.
to the end, comment the heart emoji.
Comment the blood emoji.
The blood emoji, okay.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.